to make yourself comfortable now. I'm started in a cross-legged seated position. So just take one hand to your heart and the other on top and close your eyes. And welcome yourself here to this practice for the next hour. This is a full moon Yoga Nidra practice. And I am Stephanie Gould, and I'm a yoga therapist. So, with your hands at your heart, just start to notice that you're breathing. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath. And notice how your hands respond to the breath rising and falling in your chest. And then rub your hands together, create some friction, some warmth within the palms of your hand. And cup your eyes. And you may notice that as your hands rest on your face, they're cooler than the skin around your eyes. Let the temperature of your hands resting on your eyes be soothing. And allow this darkness to signify to you that we're beginning a practice which is more about looking inward than outward. And then drop your hands down to your lap. And again, close your eyes. Close your eyes. And as you let your eyes rest, notice the space in front of your eyes. There are areas in front of your eyes that look like shadows, areas of darkness and areas of light. And you may see shapes. So even though it isn't dark outside, there is more darkness with your eyes closed. And in yoga, we call this space where the eyes are closed and we are seeing something, but not necessarily looking out, the screen of the mind. And the practice of Yoga Nidra is a practice that leads us deeper and deeper. And it is a practice that helps us to rest the mind on many different levels, allowing what lies in the subconscious, the unconscious, and the conscious mind to let go. And then eventually, perhaps, you will come to this place which is between wakefulness and sleep, which is called the hypnagogic state. And you may have experienced this state sometimes when you wake up in the morning and you've been dreaming and you feel as though you're kind of awake and kind of asleep, and your mind is simply drifting from place to place. This is a place where the mind can deeply rest. And it's so important in the times that we're living in now, especially, to allow our minds to deeply rest. So we'll begin with some gentle movement. We're going to do that sitting up just to start. And just bring your shoulders away from your ears, lengthen through the crown of your head. And I'll be, of course, reminding you throughout what we're doing. So look to your side. So looking over your right shoulder and over your left shoulder. And just letting your eyes be soft, your gaze to be soft. Moving the head gently side to side. And then come back to center and begin to make some figure eights with your nose. Your eyes can be open, your eyes can be closed. And just notice how the neck is feeling as you do this. So when we practice Yoga Nidra, which is a practice which is usually done lying down, we want to see if we can release some tension from the physical body first, so that when we come to rest, we can rest fully. Good. Drop the chin all the way down. Let the head be heavy and let this stretch out the back of your neck. Allow your neck to release. And then lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then looking down towards the floor. So beginning kind of a seated cat cow. So as you lift your gaze, you're breathing in. And as you lower your gaze, you're breathing out. And you'll notice that the weight shifts forward as you open the front of the heart. And the weight shifts back as you tip backwards off of the pelvic bowl. So rocking forward onto the pelvic bowl and opening the front of the heart, and rocking back and opening the back of the heart space. And you can do this all with your eyes closed. Because I'm encouraging you to feel your body as you do this. Feeling your body from the inside out. Good. And then begin to circle around in your seat. Circling around and allowing your circles to be as big or as small as what works for you at this time. So the weight shifts from one sitting bone to the other sitting bone. And let your breath be natural. And as you practice, um, just tuning into your body. So if something I suggest doesn't feel right for you today, then you just skip it. If you prefer seated cat cow, you can return to seated cat cow instead of these hip circles. This is your practice, so it has to work for you in your body at this moment. Good. Change the cross of your legs. So if your leg is not crossed, you can stay exactly as you are. And then begin that seated cat cow movement again. Tilting forward and tilting back. Breathing in and breathing out. Let your inhale match the length of your exhale, so that if you're breathing in, perhaps to the count of 4. You're also breathing out to the count of 4. And you don't have to stop and count. Just notice that you're not breathing. Your breath is balanced. And then again, begin the circles with the other leg in front, rotating around your seat, shifting your weight from one sitting bone to the other sitting bone so that your mind becomes anchored in your breath and in your movement, in the here and the now. And then again, the other direction. Good. Bring your hands down to your sides. Inhale, lift your arms overhead. And if you can, join your hands and make these little side leaning shapes. So you're kind of making these crescent moon shapes with the side of the body. And if it doesn't feel good to have your hands joined, you can have your hands separated. That's fine. You can have a bend in your elbow too, or just opening room in the side of the body. It's it helps us to breathe deeper when we open space within our ribs, within the intercostal muscles, so that we can breathe more deeply and more fully. This time, reaching up and then turning your body and twisting all the way to your right side and looking to the right and seeing if you can look behind you as you twist the torso. Then come back to center and drop your left hand down towards the earth and reach again into the side of the body. Maybe you'd like to take your hand behind your head, lifting up through your elbow. Take 3 breaths here into the ribs, into the right side of the right lung. Coming back up again, reaching arms overhead, twisting to the other side and looking over your other shoulder, looking behind you, never forcing anything. Come back to center, drop your hand down, reach your other arm over your ear or take your hand behind your head. And if you take your hand behind your head, you can look to where the ceiling meets the wall. Good. And then come back to center. So we're going to move and lie down on our back. So we have opened up a little bit of space in the neck, the shoulders, and the spine, the ribs, the arms, the chest. Now we're going to do some movement for the lower back and also for the legs. Um, I'll demonstrate and then I'll come to guide you. I'll be sitting up and you'll be lying down for your Yoga Nidra practice. Having to lie down. Sometimes I like to take a folded blanket under my head because it makes me more comfortable. Coming to rest on your back with your knees bent. And again, close your eyes. And just sense your body resting on the floor. Your feet are hip width distance apart. So there's some space between your knees. See that, take your fist and take it under your chin and see that you have a fist width distance between the chin and the chest so that your head is in a neutral position. And then just notice the support of the earth. Notice your body being held by the ground. Notice that as you breathe in, it's as if the earth rises up to meet you. And as you breathe out, it's you can soften into the support of gravity and the earth. Breathing in, it's as if the earth rises up to meet you. And breathing out, softening and letting go and releasing into the earth. 3 more breaths like that, noticing yourself breathing in and breathing out. 2 more on your own. One more. So we're going to begin to rock the pelvis. So we're not going to lift the pelvis up off the floor just yet. We're just going to rock under so that we push our feet into the ground a little bit more and tuck the pelvis under and then tuck and arc the pelvis the other way so there's enough room for your hand to fit underneath your back. Flattening the spine as you breathe in, pushing into the soles of your feet, and then arching your spine as you breathe out. So, rocking on your pelvic bowl and feeling this almost as if it were kind of a massage for your back from the inside out. It's called a pelvic tilt. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And then reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. Hold on if you can behind your leg. And if you can't hold on, you could use a strap. I have a strap here just to demonstrate. You could take a strap and hold on with the strap if your hamstrings are tight. And circle your ankle around 5 times in a clockwise direction. And a counterclockwise direction 5 times. Good. And give a gentle tug to your leg. And then take the heel of your foot to the front of your thigh, the other thigh, and take your hand, your right hand on your right inner thigh, and press the thigh forward. This will release the whole sacral area. Take a couple of breaths here. Softening anywhere you can soften. Can you soften in your jaw, in your forehead? You can stay as you are because this might feel really good for your lower back, or you can lift the other leg. If you lift the other leg and your head lifts off the floor, just place it back down again and stay here using your elbow to push your thigh open, your right elbow pushing the right thigh open. You can stay just as you are, or if you'd like, you can straighten the other leg, pushing the leg into the hands and the hands into the leg. Lower your foot back down to the ground and lower your feet down. Take both feet off the ground and both hands off the ground and circle wrists and ankles now. wrists and ankles. One direction, the other direction. We're helping the fluids of our body to move, the synovial fluid to move into the joints. Lower your right foot down, maybe extend your right leg out and lift your left leg up, maybe using the strap if that works best for you. And then make 5 clockwise directions with your foot. Circles in a clockwise direction and 5 circles in a counterclockwise direction. If this hurts your lower back at all, just bend your bottom leg. Then take your heel of your left foot to your right thigh. Push your thigh away with your hand. Notice the release that you feel as you do that. And if you'd like, you can grab the back of your right leg now. You can let your ankles relax here, or you can extend up through the bottom leg, pressing the leg into the hands and the hands into the leg. Lowering your foot down to the ground. Open your feet mat width distance apart and let your knees go to the right as your head goes to the left, and let your knees go to the left as your head goes to the right. So gently allowing the fronts of the hips to open, be more spacious. Now take the inner seams of your leg to touch. The hands are down by the side of the body, shoulders relaxed, and just let the knees go side to side, like you were massaging the back of your buttocks, rolling from one side to the next. Remember that you're breathing. Good. Now draw your knees in towards your chest. Cup your knees with the palms of your hands and circle the knees around. Circle them the other way. And then drop your feet down. This is the last thing that we'll do before our Yoga Nidra practice. We're going to lift up our hips and place a block underneath our pelvis. So it has to be in a place that feels right for you. So adjust it so it's right underneath your sacrum. You feel comfortable there. This is a supportive bridge pose. And you could stay right here. This is a very gentle inversion. You might want to take the blanket out from under your head as you come with the block under your pelvis. You could stay as you are here for 5 or 6 breaths, or if you want to and you're able to, you could lift both feet up towards the ceiling. So the practice this evening is a more of a yin practice, meaning that we're working with cooler energies. Practice of hatha yoga. Hatha is sun and moon. And in the West, we associate yoga mostly with the physical practice, the asana, the sun salutes. These other practices like Yoga Nidra, Yin Yoga, restorative yoga are more cooling practices. And many people find them more difficult because they're not constantly moving, they're more still. And they're directed more to relaxing and helping the nervous system to get back into balance, back into a state of balance. So, with the feet up towards the ceiling, we're taking some of the pressure off the heart. Just notice how your breath is smooth and even. A couple more breaths like this. And then lower your feet down towards the earth. Press into the soles of the feet as you lift the block out from underneath you. We're all going to roll off of our mats now, unless you're lying in your bed, and then you don't need to do this. So, what I suggest you do now is to set yourself up so that you are super comfortable. So, we're making what's called a Yoga Nidra nest. And the way that I do this when I'm teaching in person is everyone has at least two blankets. And we take one of the blankets and we fold it in half the long way, with the fringes touching on the bottom and the fringes touching on the top. And we cover the mat with a blanket. And you could use two blankets here. You just want to make sure that you are making your mat nice and cozy. And then you can take your bolster that's going to go underneath your knees to take the pressure off of your back. And then this other blanket, you can fold it so it becomes like a pillow. So you could be doing this with pillows, blankets. Lastly, you might want to cover yourself with a blanket because as we rest and we relax, the body tends to cool off. So I'm just going to demonstrate what this looks like when I'm lying in Shavasana. So you know, I have an eye pillow here. I'm placing the eye pillow. I can place it on my forehead or I can place it to cover my eyes. Sometimes people don't like the pressure of the eye pillow on their eyes. So the forehead, it's also very soothing. Lastly, you might want to cover yourself, as I was mentioning, because the body tends to cool down. I'm going to sit up now and lead you from a seated position. And at this point, adjust your body so that you can feel maybe 2, 3, 4, 5% even more comfortable. What can you do to make yourself feel even more comfortable? So, this evening's practice is especially designed around the strawberry moon, the full moon. And this moon is called a strawberry moon because the indigenous people used would gather wild strawberries under the light of this moon at this time of year. And at this practice, a practice around the full moon is usually in the world of yoga a time to set intentions for how you want to move forward. to perhaps release something you've been holding on to that's no longer serving you, and to reflect, as we will later on what we want to cultivate. What do we want to cultivate as we go forward? I will read the questions that I sent to you earlier aloud to you when we're finished practicing. And the reason that we often journal at the end of a Yoga Nidra practice is that the mind is so relaxed that nothing gets in the way. So come to rest now, closing your eyes. And in your mind's eye, drawing an imaginary circle of protection around your body. You're lying within this inner circle of protection. The circle can be made of any substance or any quality. You might like to imagine an aura of moonlight surrounding your body, or tree branches. Around this first circle, draw a second circle of protection, creating this kind of sacred cocoon, which signifies that this is your time that you've carved out to take care of yourself with no interruptions, with no information coming from the outside world. And then around those two circles, a third circle. So you are ensconced within these three circles of protection, protecting this time which is for you. And now we will connect to the senses. So again, see the space in front of your eyes, the areas of darkness, the areas of light, the shadows, and what you see in front of your eyes without really worrying about identifying anything. Let your eyes rest back and down, and let your gaze be soft. And then connect to sounds that you hear in the distance. Noticing sounds that you hear in the distance outside of your homes, without holding on to any sounds, but just maybe you hear voices or you may hear cars moving in the distance. Just letting them be in your consciousness, but listening to it as if you were listening to rain. There's no need to do anything about it. And then notice sounds that you hear in the space that you're in. It may be sounds of other people within the space that you're in, sounds of household objects, the humming of a fan or an air conditioner. Again, not holding on to any sound, but just letting the sounds move through your consciousness. And then notice the sounds you hear in your own body. The sound of your inhale, the sound of your exhale, the sound of your heart beating, any other internal sounds. Allow these sounds to be outside these circles of protection. Notice also the sound of my voice and perhaps the sound of the playlist that I sent you earlier today. Use my voice as an anchor for your attention. And if you lose me, just come back when you remember. Don't try to make up what you miss. If for any reason you fall asleep during this practice, don't worry or stress about it because the practice works on many levels, not just when you're awake, but also on the subconscious mind. And I've mentioned a few times that it is a practice. So that means that the more you practice anything, the easier it gets. So, what I mean by that is if you practice Yoga Nidra regularly, it becomes easier and easier to drop into this state, the hypnagogic state, the state between wakefulness and sleep. We're going to do a breath practice, set our sankalpa, which is our intention, and then I'll begin to guide you through the practice of Yoga Nidra. So for this breath practice, it's called Chandra. It's a moon breath. And the right side of our body, the right nostril, is where the Chandra side, the sun side, and the left side is the moon side. So what we do with this breath practice is we always breathe in through the left nostril and out through the right nostril. In through the left and out through the right. You can practice that 5 more times on your own, always beginning by breathing in through the left and out through the right. 4 more times. And then let go of that breath practice and just return to your natural breath. So we'll set an intention for this practice. And you may have an intention that you're working with. An intention, a sankalpa, is like a seed that we plant. And we set this intention for today. The intention that I offer to you is I allow the practice to sustain and nurture me. I allow this practice to sustain and nurture me. I allow this practice to sustain and nurture me. Just taking in those words and seeing if they resonate with you. We're going to begin a body scan. And as we go through the body, you will hear me mention different parts of the body, but you don't need to move the body part that I mention. Your attention will drift from place to place. And if you'd like, you can imagine a beam of light, a beam of moonlight landing on this particular place. So we'll begin with the crown of the head. noticing the crown of the head bathed by beams of moonlight, cooling moonlight, soothing and nourishing and nurturing moonlight shimmering at the top of your head. And then a beam of light at your third eye center. Feeling the light caress your eyes. This cool light caress your eyes, allowing the eyes to rest back and down. Noticing the light as it touches your nose. And then feel the inside of your mouth, the inside of your right cheek and the inside of your left cheek, the tip of the tongue and the root of the tongue, the whole mouth cool and relaxed, the tip of the chin and the center of the throat, the heart center, the right collarbone, the right shoulder, your right upper arm, front and back, your right elbow, right forearm, front and back, right wrist. Moving attention to the back of your right hand, the palm of your right hand, right thumb, pointing finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Feel the spaces between your fingers and the tips of your fingers. And now feel your whole right hand soft and relaxed. The whole right hand relaxed and at ease. Right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, right armpit, right ribs, right side waist, right hip, right buttock, right thigh front and back, right knee, right shin, right calf, right heel, sole of the right foot, top of the right foot, big toe, second toe, middle toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, the spaces between your toes and the tips of your toes. The whole right foot relaxed and at ease. The whole right foot relaxed and at ease. Right ankle, right knee, right hip, pelvic bowl, solar plexus, heart center. Now, if you can, divide the body in half and feel the whole right side of the body from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head, and the right side of the body from the crown of the head to the sole of your foot, sensing your body, the right side of the body, leaving nothing out. The right side of the body from the sole of the foot to the crown of the head, and the crown of the head to the sole of your foot, leaving nothing out. Returning to your heart center and left collarbone, left shoulder, left upper arm, left elbow, left forearm, front and back, left wrist, back of the left hand, palm of the left hand, left thumb, pointing finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, the spaces between your fingers and the tips of your fingers, the whole left hand soft and at ease, the whole left hand relaxed, left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, left armpit, left ribs, left side waist, left hip, left buttock, left thigh, front and back, left knee, left shin and left calf, left heel, left ankle, the sole of the left foot, the top of the left foot, big toe, second toe, middle toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, the spaces between your toes and the tips of your toes, the whole left foot, soft, relaxed, and at ease, left ankle, left knee, left hip, pelvic floor, solar plexus, heart center, and again dividing the body down the middle and sensing the whole left side of the body from the sole of your foot to the top of your head and the top of your head to the sole of your foot, leaving nothing out. From the top of the head, the left side of the body, to the top of the head, to the sole of your foot, and the sole of your foot to the top of your head. And now feel the whole body, both legs, both feet, the whole pelvis, both sides of the torso, both arms, both hands, the neck and the head, the whole body, from the soles of both feet to the top of the head, and from the top of the head to the soles of both feet, leaving nothing out. Sensing the whole body at ease and refreshed, the whole body at ease and refreshed, the whole body at rest, the whole body at rest. On sensing the front of your body, the part that faces the sky, the top layer of the body. Sensing the top layer of the body bathed by the light of the moon, the cool, resplendent light of the moon shining onto the front of your body, relaxing wherever it goes, bathing in the cool moonlight. Sensing the light moving inward to the middle layer of the body. The middle layer of the body that houses the organs, that houses your heart and your lungs and your internal organs. Sense this cool light, this comforting, cool light permeating your body from the outer layer of the skin to the inner organs, soothing, replenishing, refreshing from the inside out. And then the back layer of the body, the bottom layer of the body, allowing the top layer, the middle layer, and the bottom layer of the body to be as one. So now the whole body is bathed in this cooling, resplendent light. Picturing your body bathed in an aura of moonlight. Sensing your body resting in the moonlight, your body at ease. This light relaxes wherever it goes. This light that refreshes, replenishes, supports, and enhances. Censoring your body shimmering in the light of the moon from above that fills the body with this sense of opportunity, the sense of freshness, the sense of a beginning again. Feeling the entire body filled with the cooling nectar of the moon, and feeling yourself as if you were floating on a cloud of moonlight, sensing your body weightless and floating. The body is weightless and floating, hovering above the ground, healthy, nurturing, refreshed, nourished, nourished by the moon. Bringing your attention now to your belly. We're going to count back 15 breaths. So that's 15 inhale, 15 exhale, 14 inhale, 14 exhale, counting back from 15. And if you lose count as you count back from 15 to 1, just come back to 15 and begin all over again. Let go of the count wherever you are and allow yourself to rest here in silence for a few minutes until you hear the sound of my voice again. And now allow yourself to roll over to the right side of your body and come into a fetal position. And so we take our time entering the practice of Yoga Nidra, and we also take our time releasing this practice. Just take a moment to notice now how you feel without a right or a wrong way to feel. Not evaluating, but just noticing. Noticing perhaps the state of your mind. You don't have to define the state of the mind, but just see if the mind feels somewhat more spacious, a little bit more clear, more clarity and spaciousness. And as you're ready, you may choose to stay resting as you are, and that's perfectly fine. I invite you to consider some questions at this time, and you might want to gather your journal or your notebook. Two questions. One is, what is sustaining you now? What is sustaining you and your well-being now? It could be relationship that you have with someone or a friend or a loved one. It could be something you enjoy doing. It could be a practice such as music or yoga or art or something that you enjoy, which is keeping you going, fueling you, and enhancing your enjoyment of life. Whatever that is, bring it to mind and perhaps write it down. Because what we want to do as we move forward from this evening is to make more opportunities to bring this into our life even more as we move forward. It's almost like we're starting again. And the other question that I invite you to consider is, what do you want or need to release? What do you want or need to release? Could be worry or fear or some other burden that you've been carrying. Because whatever we think about grows stronger. If we worry and we feed our worry, we worry more. So, what do we want to release? What do you want to release? Gradually, if you're not already seated, come up to a seat and take one hand to your heart and one hand to the other on top, and rest and bow your head towards your heart. And I thank you for being here this evening and taking time for yourself, taking time to rest and restore and rejuvenate. Thank you for taking time to be here with this community at this time. Bring your hands to your heart again. May we have peace in our hearts. May we have peace in our minds. And may we share this peace with the world, the peace that we create with our practice. May we share it with the world. Thanks for being here, everyone. And I will stay in touch and let you know when I'll be offering another Yoga Nidra practice. I teach in person and online, and I'll let you know where you can find me. What did I do with my glasses? I lost my glasses. Oh well, I'll find them. They're here somewhere. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night and a peaceful sleep later on. Bye, everybody. Mwah.